What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV. Back with another live stream. Happy Monday, start of a new week, people. And Arsenal are back in action this week. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. On one hand, I've been missing the Arsenal games, but on the other hand, stress-free with no Arsenal games. So it is what it is, but we're back to it, people. Big up to each and every one of you for tuning in. Happy Monday. And we're going to get into the latest Arsenal news as well as looking back over the weekend. It was quite an active weekend of football. So big up to everyone for tuning in. Nimbo, big up Big CNC Unit. C Unit. We're out here, people. Big up to each and every one of you. Don't forget, anyone who's a member on the channel, we're going to do a member stream at 5 p.m. tonight. So tune in for that one. And it's your chance to come on. You know, we'll talk about the transfer window, Arteta or Aubameyang. Look ahead to the games coming up. What are your hopes and expectations for the rest of the season? So big up to every one of you. Thank you for tuning in. Also, thank you to everyone who tuned in yesterday for the AFCON final. I have to admit, it wasn't a great game. You know, 120 minutes, 0-0. It was attack versus defense. Congratulations to Senegal. The excitement of the stream was the penalties. And I wanted Senegal to win, I can't lie. They haven't won the tournament before. And I felt it would have a massive impact on their country. So, listen, it was a good penalty shootout. The actual final itself wasn't great. But we got great numbers on the watch-along. So I appreciate everyone who tuned in. Big up Dre, man. He said, well, go on, Curtis. Big up the chat. Big up to you, bro. El Nenny's coming back. Is that a good thing or not? Let me know, people. Junior, yep, you get me once. Stand up if you hate Tottenham. There you go. It's turned into a regular thing now. Big up, Darren. We have a few things to talk about today. Jake said the PSG goal was the excitement of the whole stream. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Right, we've got a few things to talk about today. It was an interesting footballing weekend as well, man. Even big up to my home team, Nottingham Forest, who beat Leicester in the FA Cup, and it all kicked off, man. I don't know if anybody saw the videos. There was fighting going off in the city centre. They're rivals with Leicester before the game. And then obviously during the game, when Forest scored, that Leicester fan ran on the pitch and threw punches, bro. The man laid hands down on people. I'm sure he'll get a sentence and a lifetime ban from football, man. Silly behaviour, really is. Big up Stuart, said big up from Boston. Need top four, no mercy if Arteta doesn't get it. Big up to Craig, who said, Curtis, big up and blessings to you and the family. Same to you and everyone in the chat. Big up to Sidant, man. I see he's in the chat. To be fair, I said to him, man, I said, don't hide, you know. Don't hide. I know Leicester took a beat down and he's very quick to slander Arsenal, man. But he's here, man. Big up to him. He said, you can't even get Buendia and Ramirez. Forget about Gnabry. Man don't come in easy, does he? Your team just lost 4-1 to Forest. You're coming in letting off the clip. I see Brendan Rodgers calling out all your team, bro. Brendan's crumbling. This is the problem with Brendan. Long term, man. He gives you some short-term success, then he crumbles. Disgusting behaviour. Yeah, it was terrible, man. Man running on the pitch, you know, and fighting players. Game's gone mad, hasn't it? The world's gone mad. I think lockdown cause people to go crazy like wild animals. They've come out and then people don't know how to behave, man. It's mad. Daily Gnabry, oh my days. I mean, for those who don't know, obviously Dusan Vlahovic scored on his full debut yesterday. Nice little lob over the goalkeeper, although he did miss a sitter as well in the same game. So, yeah, Daily Dusan was back for one night only. Big up Alvin, who said, hey Curtis, what's up, man? How you been? It's been a while. Watch your stream. Needed to take a break from Arsenal. I've learned over time that I'm not letting them ruin my life. It gets like that, man. Big up K. Hayes Joseph. Big up Big C today. Today's Grenada's 48th anniversary of independence. I'm not on the military parade today due to my bad back. Keep up the good work. Big up to everyone in Grenada. 48th anniversary of independence. Wasim said I'm a Boreham Wood fan now. Big up to them, man. Great result against Bournemouth. Right, let's talk Arsenal. Let's talk with the one that I had there first. And I know what you're all thinking. No chance. Listen, as I say, I'm just reporting it. I'm not saying it's going to happen. By the way, what a celebration. What a player. Could we ever get him? Probably not. But you never know. Stranger things have happened. Serge Gnabry. Story running through the press today is Serge Gnabry is having difficulty negotiating a new contract with Bayern Munich. He has 18 months left on his contract. According to the reports, if he doesn't sign a new deal this summer, Bayern Munich will sell him, because what you're actually meant to do, just, if you're listening to this, Edu, when a player's got a year left on his contract, you usually sell them rather than letting them run down the contract. Just a little bit of advice. We would just casually let him run down his deal. The guy is a baller. He's an absolute baller. The reality is most Arsenal fans will be sitting there right now saying, we probably can't get him. My only little tiny bit of hope would be, as Simon says here, if we make top 4. It's a very big if. Very, very big if. Now, Gnabry did an interview in September where he was asked, would you ever like to return to the Premier League? He said, absolutely. He was then asked, what club would you potentially move to? He said, Arsenal would be the favourites for my signature. So, Arsenal fans, you know what we're like. We put 2 and 2 together and we come up with 5, Also, during lockdown, he was seen doing kick-ups in his house and he was wearing an Arsenal shirt, a new Arsenal shirt at the time, despite the fact he plays for Bayern Munich. Again, Arsenal fans going wild. He's wearing an Arsenal shirt. He's coming home. I have to say, this for me turned out to be one of the biggest mistakes we've made in recent times. At the time, you probably cannot see the level that a player is going to go to. I think it's certain that he's turning to a top player. Just looking at his stats for this season, 21 games in the league, 10 goals and 3 assists, 13 goal contributions in 21 games. Serge Gnabry earns £115,000 a week. He has 18 months left on his contract and he's 26 years of age. According to reports, he's looking for a new deal of around £180,000 a week, which would be similar with Leroy Sané, who he probably sees himself on that same level. Now, number one, how much would he cost? Year left on his deal. How much could Bayern Munich really demand for him with a year left? I'm not sure how much he would cost, to be honest. Nimbo said he has unfinished business. That's our hope. That's our hope, that he looks at it like, listen, man, I came up at Arsenal. It never happened for me. I want to go back there and prove myself in the Premier League. There's a couple of situations here that will cause difficulty in getting this kind of deal done. Number one, like you said, we need to be in the Champions League. Otherwise, I don't think we can even have this conversation. He's not going to come and play Europa League or Conference League or anything like that. Number two, the treatment of some of the players in recent times by the manager, and you knew we're never going to get through a stream without me mentioning Mikel Arteta, but let me just put things into context quickly. He was international teammates with Mesut Ozil. Is Mesut Ozil going to give Mikel Arteta a glowing reference? Probably not. He would have played against Aubameyang when he was in Germany. I don't know if they're friends or not, but just, this is why you've always got to look at the way you treat players, because you never know when you're going to need that player to reference another player to say what you're about. So they're my only two concerns. Number one, the level of football we're playing at. He's not interested if we're not in Champions League, I would imagine. Number two, Arteta. I'm not sure whether Arteta could convince him. Gnabry doesn't have an attitude problem. Listen, I'm not saying he does. I'm just saying I think it will be difficult. Zeke said get Gnabry instead of Sterling, no-brainer. Listen, Zeke, we've got to be honest. The position Arsenal are in, we're in no position to reject either one of those two players, Gnabry or Raheem Sterling. They would walk into the Arsenal team when you look at their reputation. But listen, I hear what you're saying. I think a lot of people would want Gnabry. Gnabry played with Arteta at Arsenal. Interesting. Yeah. Is there a connection there? He's best mates with Hector Bellerin. Yeah, that could help a little bit. Hecky B, stepson. Martin said, I don't understand why we think we will attract Champions League quality when we can't get into the conference. Only mad wages will do it, or an impressionable young ones. Big up, Big C. And you're right, Martin. Listen, I believe that this Gnabry one is a non-starter unless we're in a major competition, i.e. Champions League. He's on 115 grand, so he's on big wages already. I don't think the wages is ever a problem because Arsenal can pay massive wages. Obviously, Aubameyang's left, Ozil's left, Kolasinac has left. We've saved a lot of money on the wage bill. It's just how do you convince him to walk out of Bayern Munich? You know, they're a Champions League. They're one of the favourites to win it. He wins trophies every year. They're the best team in Germany. I think you're just playing on the fact that he turns 27 in July. He might feel like, I need to go to the Premier League. I've done it in Germany now. I've won all the German leagues and the cups and things like that. That would be our only hope. But I don't want to put false hope and expectation into the fan base. As I always say, man, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reporting what news is out there. He said a lot of positive things about the club. He wore the Arsenal shirt when they slapped up Tottenham. And I think he scored 2 in that game. He put London is red, North London is red and stuff like that. He clearly has an affiliation with the club still. So listen, for me, if we could get him, no brainer. If we're not in the Champions League, I don't think it's a deal that is possible, to be honest. Tony Pulis said he was rubbish. I mean, no wonder he didn't thrive in that system. You know, football is about the system, you know. Certain players can't thrive in certain systems. Putting him at West Brom, Tony Pulis playing long ball, you're not going to see the best of him. So, Elliot said, do you see him going to another Premier League side? Listen, I think if he decided to leave Bayern Munich and he wanted to come back to the Prem and we weren't in the top 4, I don't think he's that caught up on Arsenal that he wouldn't go somewhere else. You know, you're telling me if Pep wanted him right wing to replace Mahrez, he'd say no, or if Salah left Liverpool, he would say no. He would go to those clubs, in my opinion. Chelsea are looking for a winger. I know they wanted Osman Dembele. I think he's a fantastic player. I think this is a huge, huge summer for Arsenal, and it's a huge 6 or 4 months of the season for Arsenal. And I think this is why I'm constantly saying how important these next 4 months are for Arsenal, because the level of player that we're trying to sign will completely change based on the competition we're in. If we're in the Champions League, try and get Raheem Sterling, try and get Serge Gnabry. You know, you can go for those top level players because you've got the competition. If we're in the Europa League and we're not really going anywhere, I don't think you can get those kind of players to come here. You've also got to look at the fact, will attacking players be put off by the fact that a lot of expensive attackers have struggled under this manager? Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe, they've all struggled under this manager. So it's an interesting one. Like you said, apparently they were at Arsenal at the same time. Do they have any kind of relationship, friendship? I'm not sure. Fitz said this move would be next level, so there is no way this will happen. It doesn't fit into the Chuckle Brothers' ludicrous process. I mean, the thing is, Edu did say in that Jeff Shreve's interview, the summer just gone was about foundations, getting numbers in. He said next year was about buying magic quality players that you can drop into the team. It depends what competition we're in that will dictate who we can get. Public and me said Willian too. I mean, he told Willian, didn't he, Arteta, that I think he said we would win the Champions League in 3 years. That's why he wanted him to sign a 3-year contract. I mean, we'll be lucky if we're in the Champions League. I think, you know, this might have been the 3rd year, actually. So it's a difficult one. Gnabry, those kind of players for me at the moment are out of our reach. They shouldn't be, but they are. But things can change and turn around quickly in football. It was only a few years ago Liverpool had Ricky Lambert and players like that up front. Jurgen Klopp came in. Within a year, they were in the Champions League, you know, and they were signing a better quality of player. So things can change quickly. And I think that's where my frustration at times has been with Arsenal, that they're feeding this story to the fans that we need 2, 3, 4 years to get this on the right track. I think if you're aggressive enough, you've got the right manager, you can turn it around within a year, a couple of transfer windows, a big summer, and time on the training ground, and you should see a big improvement if the manager is right. Big up to Fran. He said, yes, community, hit the like. I was listening to your stream earlier, bro. You made some good points. Big up to you as always. Forget Gnabry, we're getting Gervinho back. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise us, would it? Expectation, Gnabry, reality, Todd Cantwell. But we ain't Liverpool. I mean, listen, a lot of people said Liverpool's owners were not great owners, but they were willing to hire a top manager, and that is the difference. The manager made all the difference at Liverpool. That was their elite appointment that's changed them. BX said Gnabry is a top player, would only go to a top team challenging, not Arsenal. That's the issue, innit? As I was reading up on him, I'm reading reports that Real Madrid are looking at him. You know, if those type of clubs go for him, it's not happening, is it? It won't happen. Harlex said if we would get Gnabry, we had goals there as well from the flanks. The big question is, would he sign for Arsenal? I think that Pepe will probably leave Arsenal this summer. So I think there will be the need for a wide player on the right-hand side, with Saka being the only one, unless he brings back Reece Nelson and goes with him. But I think he will need to sign a winger. South London's finest, Big C, the only way we have a chance of getting him if we sell Pepe. And yeah, there you go, right on cue. I think Pepe will be available in the summer if a club will buy him. Reggie said Willian has revealed Mikel Arteta promised him qualification to the Champions League and an assault on the title within 3 years during negotiations. That's that politician, man. That's that politician. They get you to vote Conservative, then they knock down your housing estate, you know. Nicholas said, Big C, hypothetical question. Would you take Gnabry if it meant Martinelli joins Liverpool? That's a difficult question, man. That's horrible. You know me, I'm a big fan of Martinelli. At the moment, Gnabry is ahead of him, but he's a lot older than him. That's the thing. I wouldn't want to do that, but the manager probably would. 35 million for Pepe. I think we'll be lucky to get 35 million for Pepe. I can't lie, because I think we overpaid for him. I don't think he was worth 70 million. And I think you'd get 20 to 25 for him, not 35. Especially with the clubs that were being linked with him during the window, Lyon and Marseille. It'll be very tough. Very, very tough. Pepe will go to Liga or La Liga. Yeah, I think he'll go back to France. Liverpool was competing with Brendan when Klopp arrived. Not at the time when he came in, though. They were declining. You know, they was in Europa League. They weren't even in the Champions League the season that Klopp came in. Pepe's going to fire us into the top four. I mean, listen, let's move on. We'll come back to players and stuff later on in the show, but we're going to talk about the controversy of Marc Overmars. Now, I'm only going to speak about this briefly, but, you know, even me, myself, I've said a few times, Arsenal this summer should go for Overmars, if not go for Michael Edwards. The reason for Overmars was I kind of felt like you get him and Ten Hag as a team, and those two, you know, could have turned the direction around of the club if Arteta was moved on. But Overmars has done some poor things, man, and he's let himself down badly. It broke last night. Sporting director Marc Overmars has left Ajax with immediate effect. The club's statement announces it was made official by Ajax, and Marc Overmars has left the club. Now, just to break down this story in a little bit more detail, Fabrizio obviously was reporting it. He said, shocking news. The Ajax statement said Overmars has left after cross-border messages were sent towards several women colleagues at the club. This is dramatic. It's devastating for the women who have had to deal with the behaviour. Overmars has really gone over the line. Ajax then said, Overmars made this decision to quit after discussions in recent days. A series of inappropriate messages sent to several female colleagues over an extended period of time underlies his decision to leave the club. It's terrible behaviour. I can say with certainty that Arsenal will not appoint him in any way, shape, or form. We know that Arsenal are all about PR. Everything that Arsenal try and put out, they want it to look good. They're not going to go near a technical director with this kind of story hanging over him. He's basically quit before they sacked him. He's tried to save face a little bit. And these kind of stories, man, are coming out in football a lot lately. Obviously, some players, your Mendes and so on, have gone way beyond that, according to reports. But it's poor, man. It's poor. You're in a job. You're there to do a job, and you're doing this. Obviously, it says several messages. Inappropriate messages sent to several female colleagues over an extended period of time, gives you the impression he's probably been doing this for a long time. A lot of women have been keeping quiet, and they've blown it up and said, I've had enough. And he's embarrassed himself. He really has. Now, obviously, we don't know what he said. It could be flirtatious, but they're saying he's overstepped the mark, and he should know you're a professional. In a professional club, you've been a professional footballer, and this power and stuff like that, it goes to certain people's heads. And man said, go to the red light district. Oh my days. You're in Amsterdam, bro. You don't need to send them kind of messages. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Listen, we don't know what he said. People saying innocent till proven guilty, but he's quit the club. He's quit. So surely if the man felt he was totally, in the right, you're going to say, listen, man, it was a little bit of flirting, nothing inappropriate. Just, but clearly he's gone before he was pushed, in my opinion. But listen, we don't know the full story. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Apparently he's married as well. Did you ever witness any of this in your playing day? I mean, look, things went off in football clubs. Where players have got involved with female staff at clubs and things like that. It happens, but yeah, it's poor. It's poor from him, and he was highly rated in football. That's the thing, and you've ruined your career possibly by doing this. Because he may have ended up at Arsenal. I know Newcastle apparently were looking to bring him over for their project as well. So, he's messed himself up. Sign him up. I mean, no, I don't see Arsenal going for him. Maybe you want a dinner or lunch, which is still inappropriate. Man said massage. We have no fact. Listen, we don't have all the facts. We're only going off what we've seen. But obviously, reputation is everything in football. And he's also said here, in fact, let's finish it off. People saying we don't know. So here is his statement. I didn't even see this bit. Marc Overmars said, I am ashamed. I didn't realise that I was crossing the line with this. That was made clear to me in recent days. I apologise. For someone in my position, this behaviour is unacceptable. It's too late. I see no other option but to leave Ajax. I mean, doesn't come across as the most innocent of people with that statement. Interesting that he said, it was made clear to him that his behaviour was inappropriate. He wasn't even aware, which, listen, we're not going to talk about it too long. We're here to talk football, Arsenal. Obviously, we're going to speak about it because this is a former Arsenal player. He was a top player. He was a very good technical director. He was being linked as potentially coming back to Arsenal at some stage with Ten Hag. And I don't see any way how Overmars ever comes to Arsenal with this kind of PR around him. It's just not going to happen. So, he's didn't realise. Ignorance is no excuse. It really isn't. And this kind of behaviour has to be cut out in general. But yeah, Overmars obviously has left Ajax after inappropriate messages, and obviously he's been exposed. So it is what it is. Man said midlife crisis settings. It's poor. It's poor. And obviously we don't want to see that kind of behaviour, man. So the only person who might be a little bit, I won't say happy because it is a serious situation. I don't want to use that word, but maybe breathing a sigh of relief could be Edu. Edu might think, you know what, this guy might have come and took my job off me. Now he's been sacked. Penalty spot said another one off the list. 3 strikes, he's out. We move on. Need to show women respect at all times. 100%, man. 100%. Better for him now to take a sabbatical, a long one for now. Yeah, you just got to come out of the spotlight, Annie. Big up, Jack. Afternoon, Curtis. Hope you're well, mate. Big up to you. Thank you for tuning in. It's making football look bad. I think it's a society problem, because I always look at it, I say, football is a reflection of society. You know, society is not a reflection of football. It's the other way round. I think it's coming out in the football world a lot more now than it used to, which, you know, the situation occurring is wrong. It's good that people are exposing these people for it. I do think it's a society issue, you know. I'm sure this happens in different environments where, you know, there are people with authority and power and they do this kind of thing. So, yeah, I don't think football is the issue, but it's something from society that has overspilled into football as well. So, yeah, and listen, they've got to do more to deal with it, that's for sure. Man said breaking, Arsenal appoint Overmars. They won't go nowhere near him, man. I'm telling you, they just won't go nowhere near him. Let's get back to football. Overmars is done. People saying Overmars went overboard. The comments, they're not easy, man. Big up David, he said, greetings from Malaga, enjoying the sun on my day off and no Arsenal to spoil my day. Flown to Malaga a few times, to be honest. We're going to go Marbella, flying to Malaga, up the coast, up to Marbella. I need a holiday this summer, man. Need a trip. Big up to you, man. Your weather's probably a lot better there than it is here in England. It ain't too warm at the moment here. 1.7k in the chat. Appreciate all of your support. Make sure you smash the like. Let's get 1,000 likes. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get 50k before the end of the season. Don't forget, 5 p.m. tonight for the members of a certain level. We'll have a members stream. Come on the stream. Give me your comments. Let me know about the transfer window. Arteta. Your hopes for the rest of the season. Looking ahead to the Wolves game, which will be a very difficult game on Thursday. That is for damn sure. We'll be doing a watch-along for that, of course. And I am going to start doing neutral watch-alongs again now after, you know, the AFCON watch-along went great yesterday in terms of numbers. Money rules the world, Curtis. That's what it's all about. It's the power of the dollar, innit? I'm just quickly going to speak about Aubameyang. Of course, I was always going to speak about Aubameyang briefly, wasn't I? But it's only going to be brief. Obviously, Aubameyang made his debut yesterday for Barcelona. Barcelona beat Atletico Madrid 4-2. Dani Alves scored, got an assist, was sent off. Eventful game for a 38-year-old. And Aubameyang came on for 25 minutes, 30 minutes. Adama Traore was very good in this game, by the way. Lawyer settings. Nah, no lawyer settings, man. No overtime. But we're just briefly going to talk about it. I was going to do a watch-along for that game, actually. But Aubameyang was seen here in the Barcelona kit. Still seems a bit strange seeing him in a Barcelona kit. I can't lie. Looks a little bit photoshopped, but it is what it is. The interesting thing about this, what had the fan base talking yesterday, was this. Just as a final thing, I don't know if you guys can see this, but on Aubameyang's right arm, in fact, I can scroll across. If you can see this, he has a tattoo, and apparently this wasn't there before. There is a tattoo of Aubameyang on his arm, wearing the Arsenal kit with the number 14 on the back of his shirt, and it looks as if he's like walking off into the sunlight. I mean, dear. It wasn't supposed to end like this, Obba, man. He loves us. Oh, Arteta. You know, he's probably looking for laser treatment ASAP now to get that off. It's interesting, though. You don't see that often, do you? You know, an Arsenal player with a tattoo of Arsenal on him, you know. Shows. Man said, hold back them tears. Hey, who's cutting onions in here, man? Who's got the onions cutting? Oh, dear. Obba. He's got the FA Cup shirt on as well. Oh, dear. You know, here's what it is. Man said I'm emotional. I can't let it go. I'm telling you, man, that damn Arteta tax. It's that emergency tax. You know, when you start at the new job and you're like, yo, I'm getting this much money. And you say, yeah, man. And you look down the bottom, they're like, oh, because you didn't fill out this form, we're doing emergency tax this month. So you've lost 25% of your wages. You know, that's that Arteta tax, people, man. Jeez. Always a gooner. That's all I'll say, man. Once a gooner, always a gooner. And it is sad. It is. At least it wasn't a tattoo of Arteta, I'm telling you. Yeah, it's the onions, Curtis. It's the onions. John said, I'm walking away from the cone man in my life. Man don't want to play for the cone man, you know. Man's out of here. Streets will never forget. Man's tattered for life. I wonder if he's looking for laser treatment as we speak to get that off. But it is what it is. I just thought I'd bring that up. We're not going to talk about him for too long. He's no longer an Arsenal player. I don't think I should bang on about him too much. It was just interesting to see that. I never knew he had that tattoo. You know, man's tattered up. Once a gooner, always a gooner, apart from Cashley Cole. See, you know, my opinion is very different on some of these players. And I've had this argument so many times with Arsenal fans. Arsenal fans always hate Arsenal players when they leave. And I understand it because, especially when they go to a rival, you know, it really does cause pain. And you think, oh my God, you was kissing the badge, you love the club and you go to a rival. But I always tell people, 99% of these players, they don't support Arsenal. They're not emotionally attached. They grew to love the club. They will go to a rival. And if you look after your house, these players don't leave. Ashley Cole went to Chelsea. He won the Prem, the Champions League. He cleaned up. He won everything at Chelsea. No matter how much we hate him for leaving and we say Ashley Cole, it was about money, the man can justify the move by what happened in his career when he left. Arsenal were on the downward, selling players every year, moving to the Emirates. Chelsea were on the rise. So I get it as a fan, but I think because I've been on the inside of the game, I kind of see it a little bit different, man. I blame Wenger and Gazidis and the Kroenkes more than I blame your Ashley Coles and Van Persie's. School Fugger, he said, big up to you, bro, by the way. He said, thinking back to the contract renewal announcement vid is heavy, the Omri aspirations and all that. It's sad, man. The man was saying, you know, I want to be a legend. I'm following in Omri's footsteps, the number 14. He's got the tattoo, but it is football. It is football, you know. It's unfortunate, but yeah, it should have ended better. Where is your Curtis Shaw TV tattoo, Big C? When we hit 100k followers, oh my days. I don't know about that, you know. I don't know about that one. M. Barron said, Curtis, your channel is the best on YouTube. I can't say it enough. The way you talk about life subjects, break it down in a righteous manner. Big up. I appreciate them words, man. Stay righteous, people. We have to stay righteous, you know. And hopefully good fit. Everyone's hammering Ashley Cole. I've only just scrolled down into the comments. Everyone's going, nah, man. It wasn't just Ashley Cole. And that's the thing, you know. You can't. Sometimes you got to look at it and say, and I agree with you here. I think you're right, Ian. Some of it was dishonesty. No, I'm not leaving. I love this club. Next minute, they've left. I think footballers have to just be clear. And I think that's why Van Persie, you know, Van Persie was very clear when he left. I had the meeting. I wanted to know who was being signed. They showed him paperwork. This is how much money we've made. The man said, I'm gone, man. I ain't staying here. I don't care how much money you've made. Where's the signings? Where's the ambition? You know? I think when you're truthful, you know, people can never bring you down if you're honest. You know, a painful truth is better than a soft lie, you know, be honest. Penalty Spot said, very true. I guess a lot of players talk well of Arsenal once they leave, even Van Persie. Mr. Cole is very much Chelsea. He is. We allowed that to happen, you know. Pretty much all of our best players have left the club over the last 15 to 20 years. Why is that? Why did Omri not retire at Arsenal? Fabregas, Van Persie, Aubameyang, Alexis. Why did none of these guys never leave with a trail of celebration or, leaving at 35 to go and play in the MLS and we give you a massive round of applause. Why do all the greats leave this club out of the back door? Hated and vilified. I think Henry's one was quite respectful. He got the statue. People felt he was past his best anyway, but it's an Arsenal problem. It really is. Jed Rika said, big up Curtis, never managed to catch you live because of work. Keep it up. Appreciate you tuning in. To be fair, Omri did come back. Yeah, Omri was definitely one that was all right, to be honest. Curtis Adebayor was honest, and even recently he spoke about Aubameyang a few weeks ago. I don't know, man, with Adebayor. It's something about that guy. He just seems very untrustworthy, but I don't know. Got to become a destination club again. We do. We got to become a club that players want to go to, that they want to play for. Joey said, Curtis, who do you think should have the number 14 shirt next? I've heard Martinelli wants it. I would give it to him or Saka. What's your opinion? Well, you've led me in nicely to my next story now, people. Let's go. Gabriel Martinelli. So, we brought up a quote. We're doing a bit of digging and investigating. Gabriel Martinelli said in February 2021, his comments were, I want to follow in Aubameyang's footsteps. Listen, don't follow in all of his footsteps the way it's ended up with Aubameyang, maybe not all of them, but he said, I want to follow in Aubameyang's footsteps. He's a captain. He wears the number 14 shirt. That is a symbol for this club. And of course, I hope to be very successful at Arsenal. For me, no brainer. No brainer. You get Martinelli in that number 14 shirt. Yeah. You get him in the shirt. Now, if I scroll up here, someone's put a picture up. I mean, these are the guys right now. Get Martinelli in that 14 shirt, man. Saka's already got the 7. Smith Rowe's got the 10. Give Martinelli that 14. I think he wears 35 right now. I don't know what the meaning is behind that. But yeah, get him in that 14 shirt for me. Listen, we know Jurgen Klopp is sniffing around him and praising him massively. So we have to do what we can to get these 3 tied up to long-term contracts. Smith Rowe signed a long-term deal. Martinelli and Saka. I know Martinelli did sign a new deal not too long ago. Saka obviously only got 2 years left. Give him the shirt. Hope he never leaves. Jashar said Ashley Cole was promised an extra 5k. The club retract the offer. Can't blame Ashley. Everybody will be vexed. If your company sits you down and offers you a pay rise, you're going to be delighted. I know they're rich anyway, but it's just the principle. If your manager pulls you in the office and says, listen, instead of £10 an hour, we're going to give you £17 an hour. It's going to start from next month, and then they retract it. You're going to be furious no matter how much money you've got. It's just the principle. And I think Chelsea threw the bag at him, and he saw the direction the club were going in. It's the harsh reality. Not to sound too negative, however, Arteta will ruin that kid. I mean, listen, I hope not. I really hope not. He's doing well at the moment. Fab said the 14 should be put in storage for a while. Yeah, maybe it has to chill for a little bit, man. You know what I mean? The thing is, if you give all the top numbers to the youngsters, if you do make big signings, what numbers have you got left to give them? I suppose you've got number 9. I think Lacazette wears 9. He will leave. And maybe 1 or 2 others. Man said, freeze that 14. The 3 amigos. This is it, man. What I think now, we need to get a few magic players around them to take some of their pressure off their shoulders. For your information, Kante was late for training yesterday. The players and staff gave him a big round of applause. Different ways of dealing with it, right? Eddie will get the 14. If he gets the 14, just delete club. We don't want him having the 14. That is for sure. We need 3 polls. We'll get some polls out, but don't worry. Torreira 11. Odegaard is better than all of them. I don't know. I don't think he's having as big an influence. But he is a good player. Man United 7 being ping pong every year. That 7's gone downhill since CR7, hasn't it? Although even he's not doing it too much justice at the moment, to be honest. Number 9, 11 and 12 are available. Yeah, that's decent. They're not bad numbers. I think 11 is available. What number is Odegaard wearing? I think does he wear 8? Ian Wright, number 8. 2,000 of you in the chat. Really appreciate it. Make sure you like the video. Let's get 1,000 likes and subscribe. Members, don't forget we'll be back on at 5 for the member stream. Do you think Gabriel Martinelli should get the number 14 shirt? What's your thoughts with Aubameyang going now? He has spoken about it. Odegaard wears 8. He's got the Ian Wright 8, right? Ian, right. 12 will give Balogun next season. Shout out Balogun, man. Played against Man United on Friday night. In fact, I haven't even really spoken about that, have I? Yeah, Middlesbrough beating Man United. Balogun was playing in that game. So another big Premier League club out. Big up Broads. Martinelli 14 is good, but not going to lie, that 14 is gold. Do you know the thing, though, bro? You know with Arsenal, man, we took away, over the years, we've diluted all of the Arsenal numbers anyway. You know what I mean? Number 10 was Dennis Bergkamp. Next minute, man like William Gallas is wearing it. You know what I mean? We pulled that to the floor from then. You look at 14, you know, it went from Thierry Henry to Theo Walcott. You know, we already mashed up the 14. Number 7, I mean, we've had numerous number 7s. You know, number 8 with Ian Wright, that's been passed around. We've already played down these numbers. I think Martinelli will probably get it. Ozil did number 10 justice. Yeah, for a few years he was lit. He was a proper number 10, I can't lie. I just don't think we had the striker to get the best out of him. Soraj said William Gallas was the worst captain. Gallas, man, them days there were dark days, man. I can't lie, man. Gallas as skipper. Broad said 14 became neutralised when Walcott were... Yeah, when I seen Walcott in 14, it did not mean as much to me, you know. When Henry wore it, it meant everything, you know. And Aubameyang did 14 justice for a couple of years, I can't lie. Arteta had number 8. I prefer not to speak, I can't lie, man. Ian Wright to Arteta, number 8, you know what I'm saying? Sanchez was the best 7. Do you know what? I'm going to put the first poll of the day up, right? I was having this argument the other week, and I want to bring the chat in this, right? Who was better at Arsenal? Alexis Sanchez or Robert Pires? I was having this debate of who was the best winger at Arsenal in recent times. You could even put Freddie Ljungberg into that, but for me, I believe Sanchez and Pires were better than Freddie Ljungberg. So, and I think they both wore number 7. So I'll ask it as, who was the better number 7? Sanchez or Pires? Because you can help me settle a debate here. Was it Bobby Vavavoom? Or was it Alexis, the dog-chasing piano player? Let me know. There you go. The poll's up. We got to get at least 2 polls in every show. That is for sure. Pires, the invincible. Pires, bro, don't let these man fool you. Overmars. Overmars having a bad week, man. Most of you saying Pires, but we'll see it on the poll. Nick said Sanchez was better than Pires. I think they are... See, where it's difficult is when you've been in a great team, a lot of people will always push you higher because they'll say, well, hang on, this guy was part of the Invincibles. He was better. Sanchez produced higher numbers, but was he a better player? It's interesting. I want to see your results at the end. We'll cut that one short, and then we'll maybe do a different one. Pires, 14 goals, 14 assists. Sanchez was a beast. Alexis, miles better individually. Daniel said Alexis all day, arguably the best player in the league. Man said the dog-chasing piano player. He was hated by the time he left. Pires was more successful. Love Sanchez more. It's interesting. I'll get your thoughts on that later in the show. What I wanted to look at is, and something that we're going to look at a little bit more, is Arsenal. They play Wolves this Thursday. It's a tough game. We're all talking about top 4. We're saying, how can we achieve it? Transfer window shut. We're just going to have to work with what we got now. Now, something for me that needs to change at Arsenal over the next few weeks is the way we use our wide players. Because in my opinion, Lacazette is not going to get the goals to fire us into the top 4. This is just my opinion. I just don't, unless he hits that form he had at Lyon, I don't see it. Now, the role of a striker for me is changing. A striker will always be a goal scorer, but I think now strikers are becoming more of a link player who contributes towards scoring goals. Wingers are almost the new strikers. They're the ones who score goals. You look at Salah, Mane. You look at Sterling and these kind of players. Ronaldo and Messi have done it from wide areas for a long time. Alexis when he was at Arsenal. Hazard when he was at Chelsea. It's changing a lot. What I think Arsenal need to do, they need to get the goals from the wide areas. Now, I changed this formation because when I went to the Arsenal game the other week, I noticed that this is kind of how Arsenal were playing. In terms of the wingers were hugging the touchline. The whole game, they were hugging the touchline. And this is something that I think they have to change. Because what happens, Lacazette drops. These two are out wide. And we don't make them little runs that Mane and Salah make between the fullback and the centre-back, which is where you score a lot of your goals. What Arsenal need to do, in my opinion, is get these guys further up the pitch. They need to be next to him. That's the only way you're going to get the best out of Lacazette, is when you get bodies around him. If he has to go wandering for the ball, he becomes redundant. You know, he plays like a midfielder. You need these two on the corner of the penalty area. You get your width from your fullbacks. Look at the way Liverpool play. Look at the way City play. Their width comes from Kyle Walker, from Trent, from Robertson, from whoever plays left back, Cancelo. The wingers tuck in and the fullbacks overlap. Now, Tomiyasu doesn't get forward that much. Tierney bombs on all the time. This is where you want to see Martinelli and Saka. Corner of the penalty area, running between fullback. Keep Lacazette up here as the link man. You get Odegaard in the pockets. That's when you're difficult to pick up. Tierney bombs on. Xhaka drops in there. There's your system. Arteta, it's not difficult, man. It's not difficult. Jitesh said, Big C, I was born in 2002. I'm too young for Pires. When I see the good days. He was a baller, man. Jitesh said, when will I see the good days? Apologies. Yeah, man, listen. We're all patiently waiting, bro. It's tough. It's tough. Do you have the players to play the high line, though? I think we can't play too high. But we need to squeeze the pitch a little bit more. Don't sit back too much. And it's true what you say. To get the wingers high up the pitch, the back four have got to be brave and play closer to the halfway line, which leaves space in behind them, which is dangerous. But this is what the top teams do. I think when you leave a lot of space around Granit Xhaka, this is when he gets exposed. When you make the pitch smaller, keep players closer to him. Him and Partey play closer together. That's when he's a bit more effective. You know me, people. I don't rate Xhaka at all. But you've got to make sure you protect him the best way you can. Christian said, who's he put in? Martinelli needs to start cutting inside more. He scored most of his goals when he inverts. 100%, but it looks to me like an instruction from the manager. When I've watched the few games this season, he's hugging the touchline all the time. Costa, I mean, I appreciate your super chat. I'm not going to read it out, man, because, you know, we don't want to start talking about them things there, but big up. M. Barron said, we need Basuma, so we have a brick wall in the middle next to Partey. With a 10 like Odegaard, you don't need a ball-playing centre midfielder. The thing is, I think Partey can get the ball and get the ball to Odegaard. It's when you're asking him to dictate play and go and get the ball off Ben White and turn out and play. That's when I think he struggles a little bit, you know. But I definitely, listen, we desperately need a midfielder. Pires curler versus Liverpool was the first banging goal I ever saw live. Oh, I think that was the yellow kit, right? Little bender in the corner. Pires was mad. Pires was crazy, man. I can't lie. I cannot lie. He was mad. Man saying the super chat was mad. That's what I'm saying. I can't read them things out, bro. Clement said, should we play 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1 or 3-4-3? I don't see him going back to wing-backs. And this is an interesting one because I've always said that Arteta's most successful time at Arsenal was playing three at the back. You know, three at the back was where he had his success. With wing backs, you know, Maitland-Niles and them guys there were playing wing back. And that's where we were successful. We won the FA Cup, but he wants to play four at the back because he wants to have control of the game. Three at the back, sometimes you're sacrificing the ball a little bit. So, yeah, man. Man said FF. Did he say FFTV? I didn't even realize that he said that. I didn't even read till the end. Nah, man, we can't be saying things like that, man. Can't be putting in chats like that. Anthony said, that poll is making me want to while out. I love Sanchez, but no way was he better than Bobby. No way. He, along with Henry and Bergkamp, was the most instrumental in us winning 2 league titles. It's debate, man. That's what we want. We want debate. What do you think? What I also want to know, do we have to find a way of getting Pepe into this team? Listen, he's not going to play every week because he absolutely loves Saka. I think most of the fan base do. Martinelli's in a good run of form at the moment. And obviously, you've still got Smith Rowe on the bench as well. But I do think somehow you've got to try and get Pepe in this team scoring goals somehow. Because I think he is probably our most prolific goal scorer out of the wingers that we've got at the moment. Fitz said, the light that burns twice as bright burns half as long, described Sanchez, but Pires was better as he was on a different planet and shone in a fantastic team. And I hear what you're saying. I think Pires did it for longer. Sanchez came in, exploded for 2-3 years and then went. I suppose the argument you would have for Sanchez would be, could Pires have carried Arsenal in the team that Alexis Sanchez played in? Do you know what I mean? Sanchez had a lot more responsibility on his shoulders when you look at that team. But Pires was, Pires was a very good team player. Sanchez was very individual. I have to admit, I saw both of them play live. I think Pires was a fantastic player. Understood the game so well. Getting in positions, allowing Henry to drift to that left. Ashley Cole on the overlap. That left-hand side was unplayable. Sanchez, for me, was more exciting than Pires. I've got to be honest, He was a more edge-of-your-seat player because at any given moment, he could kind of win you the game. It's a very difficult one to split that, to be honest. Two different players in how they played. So, yeah, there's the poll. Get your votes in. Henry and Pires, Batman and Robin. Young G's missed out. Sanchez carried us more than Aubameyang. Interesting. Very interesting. A proper manager plays Pepe in a different position. Would you change anything in this team, people? Would you change anything in this team? Would you... Me and Lee Judges were speaking the other day on a show, and we were sort of saying, can you get Martinelli through the middle with Smith Rowe on the left? Is there a way you get Pepe into the team? What is the plan B? If Lacazette gets injured or he's not playing well, Eddie Nketiah is not a sufficient plan B for Arsenal. That then leaves us two options, Martinelli or Pepe. Can they play through the middle? I've always kind of been of the debate that I think Martinelli could play through the middle, but I'm seeing a lot of people saying try Pepe through the middle. I just do not think 20 minutes to go, if you're playing Liverpool or you're playing Chelsea, you need a goal. You can't turn to Eddie Nketiah. You've got to figure out something else. We've started a debate here. Imran said Sanchez was better by miles, carried the entire team by himself. Alexis was a game changer. RM said Pires always turned up. Oh my Jays, thank you for the super chat, bruv. Said Sanchez carried a team. Pires was part of a class outfit. It's hard to compare them both. Not sure Pires could have done what Alexis did with the team he had. I think the interesting thing, and I appreciate your comment, bro, is I think their roles were different because I feel like if you were a winger, you look at the wingers at that time, the early 2000s, your Pires, your Lundbergs, your Beckhams, your Giggs, all them kind of wingers. A lot of them guys, they'd get 3-4 goals a season. You know, there was no pressure on them to bang in goals because you played 4-4-2 and more often than not, you looked at your two strikers to get you 20 goals. So your goals were coming from there. So Pires might have got 7 goals in a season and that would have been fine because Henry's probably getting 27, 28 goals. when Alexis came, it was that time where strikers weren't scoring as much and wingers were scoring. You were looking at Sanchez to go and get 20 goals. I think Sanchez got nearly 30 goals in one season in all competitions. So it is difficult to compare them. It definitely is. Pepe, striker at Lille. A lot of people said he played centrally at Lille. I actually never saw him play it. Play Pepe and Martinelli up top as a two. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I just don't think with the midfielders and wingers we've got, you would see Arteta play a two-man midfield. I wouldn't mind seeing it. Arsenal Man 94 said, "Yo, Curtis, long-time supporter of Arsenal. Went to Highbury when I was 4. Just wanted to say big up the Arsenal fans. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it. Big up everyone for tuning in. 2.1k in the chat. Smash them likes and subscribe, people. We're having a little debate. Who is the best number 7 out of Pires and Alexis Sanchez? If you're watching this video after the video is finished, let me know in the comments. And let me know why you think that player was better. One thing's for sure. I'm not of the agreement when people come in and say, oh, he was miles better than him. I think they're in the same bracket. I honestly do. I think they're two of the best wingers we've seen in the last 20 years. Probably the 2 best wingers we've had over the last 2 decades at Arsenal. I think it's more preference. Some people will go for Pires because he was part of arguably the greatest ever Arsenal team, and he was at Arsenal for a long time, where Sanchez kind of just exploded from day one at Arsenal, and he left in a circumstance that most people hated the way he left. He went to Man United. So, but yeah, Chris said he played central a lot at Angers, not as much at Lille in terms of Pepe. I just think he's got to try and get something out of Nicolas Pepe before this season finishes. There were rumours that we were trying to sell him in January, which I can't believe that. I would have actually been furious if we sold Pepe in January, because I think you've got to give him to the end of the season and see what we can produce, and see if you can get anything out of him. Surely, when Arteta came to Arsenal, a lot of the hype and hope around him was what he's done with Sterling and Sané and these wingers at Manchester City. We were kind of saying, well, can he do that at Arsenal? Can he get more out of Reece Nelson? Can he take Saka to the next level? What can he do with Pepe? I think he's done well with the young players, but the experienced players, as I said before, Willian had his best season at Chelsea the year before he signed for Arsenal. He came to Arsenal, he couldn't do anything. He had literally nothing to offer. Now I'm just seeing some breaking news. Nicolas Soule from Bayern Munich is joining Borussia Dortmund on a free. That's interesting. Maybe the wheels are falling off, man. Maybe we'll get Gnabry, you never know. So yeah, I expected Arteta to get something out of Pepe. In my head, I just think Pepe leaves this club in the summer. I think Arsenal will sell him. I've got to be honest, but we'll have to see. Rory Sang said, can't believe Partey is now the highest paid player at Arsenal. That is crazy, isn't it? That is absolutely crazy. And this is something that I really want Arsenal to address in the summer. But I'm just not sure they can. Arsenal, for the first time, I would say, in my entire life, don't have a superstar. There is not one superstar player at Arsenal Football Club. And I think superstars attract more of them. I think when you've got one, you can get the second one, you can get the third one, because they'll say, oh, well, because he was there, that made me want to go there as well. I'm thinking back from a whole lifetime. Ian Wright, Bergkamp, Henry, Vieira. Then we had, Fabregas, Van Persie, Aubameyang, Alexis. This is the first time I can look and say there is no superstar at the football club. And that's crazy. That is crazy. Obviously, some of you may have been watching Arsenal for longer than I have, and I'm sure there were other times where we didn't have superstars as well. And something that came out the other day, I was just looking for the picture, was that Arsenal are not in the top 10 shirt sales. For the first time, I believe, in 23 years, I think it said 23 years, that Arsenal are not in the top 10 for shirt sales in Europe. And I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that we don't have that superstar. If you went to the Emirates today and I said, right, go and buy the new Arsenal shirt, what player are you putting on the back? There were times you would have said, yep, no doubt about it, I'm putting Mesut Ozil, I'm putting Aubameyang, I'm putting Omri, I'm putting Alexis. You go there now, you're going to have to think about it. You'll be like, well, I don't know, I like the young players, but which one's my favourite? You know, I don't think they are. And that's not their fault, because the young players are very talented players and we're putting a lot of pressure on them at the moment. Like I said, when I got that shirt earlier in the season, it was free to get a name on the back. And I said, leave it. I don't want one. Looking back, I should have got one of the History Channel settings players on there. Just get Henri 14 or something. Anthony said, I'm actually gutted that Aubameyang got booted out of the club whilst only being a few league goals shy of 100. Damn you, Cone, man. It would have been great for him to hit that 100. We have Salah, just not Mo Salah, unfortunately. Saka and sold with the only shirts worth it. Big C standards have plummeted at the Emirates. I mean, let's hope we can lift it back up, but it's going to be tough. I'm disgusted people choosing Alexis over Perez. Let's end that poll. Let's end that, see where we're at. Wow, we're actually, when I end it now, 51% have gone for Alexis Sanchez. Recency bias, man. 51% Alexis, 49% Bobby Perez. Vavavoom loses the debate. Alexis Sanchez, baby. Alexis Sanchez. Oh. Oh, dear. Some people are going to be angry with that one. Like I said, let me know afterwards if your thoughts and opinions on that. But yeah, in terms of Arsenal, we have to adjust and go and get a superstar in, surely. Give me your comments, people. Get your comments in before we round up. We've been on for an hour. Recency bias in full effect. Absolutely pathetic. Sanchez's levels, very tight. I think that's the closest we've ever had any poll. Perez is a legend. Sanchez was good, but he sold out. Wow, the fact that Arsenal isn't in the top 10 for shirt sales in the world, 24 years is interesting. Bruv, it's crazy. I had the picture. I thought I saved it. Even Dortmund were above us. And that's probably due to Haaland. You know, Haaland is going to sell shirts. Even Chelsea and Man City were above us, which is unbelievable. More votes than likes. Hey, come on now, people. Come on. Don't do me dirty like that. Hit the poll, but, you know, hit the likes as well. Fitz, what did Kevin Campbell say on Haaland? I haven't seen anything about that. But yeah, Arsenal not in the top 10 for shirt sales for the first time in 24 years in Europe. Teams like PSG. I mean, I'm not going to lie, you know. I had a PSG shirt about a year ago. Because it was like Neymar, Mbappe, Messi. I'll have a PSG shirt. You know what I mean? I think worldwide, I think if you're in another country and you're not an Arsenal fan, but you kind of like Arsenal, the big players would make you buy the shirt, you know, where now I think we don't have that. And that's the only thing that worries me. Elliot said it's the Arteta tax. But listen, not even to hammer Arteta. You've just got to look at it and think, okay, you look at some of the big names we've had in recent times. Ozil, there was a big fallout with Arteta. Now, I actually think Ozil was coming to the end of his time at Arsenal as a player. But you look at the way he left. He signs Willian, who, whether you like it or not, he was a big player. He'd had over 50 caps for Brazil. He's won the title. He's won all sorts of trophies. He came in, it flopped. He was absolutely dreadful. He left in quite negative circumstances again. You look at David Luiz. There were a lot of reports that David Luiz didn't get on well with Mikel Arteta. And then the Aubameyang situation. You have to protect the reputation of the football club. Now, don't get me wrong, some of these players maybe deserve to leave. But the way they leave is very important because the whole world is watching. We're watching it as fans and going, that looks a little bit dodgy, some of these. Imagine what a player is thinking when you're asking him to come and join the club. You know, they're going to think, well, look at the way you treated Mesut Ozil, and he was a World Cup winner. And look at Aubameyang, he carried you for 2 years. And it's not that they're leaving, it's how they're leaving, you know. And that sometimes can be the problem. Big C, which are the remaining players you would offload in the summer? For me, I would get rid of Cedric, El Neni, and Ketia. Lacazette, I wouldn't renew his contract. Xhaka, I would sell. I would probably let Holding go as well, to be honest. Maybe 4 or 5 players. And then obviously your loan players, you know, your Bellerins and players like that, you've got to offload as well. Bring back Saliba. And obviously Guendouzi, I don't think will come back. Christian said, who is the superstar that we need? I mean, Gnabry would be a top player to bring in. Like I said, you get Arsenal in the Champions League, all of a sudden you're shopping in Harrods. At the moment, we're shopping in Lidl, in TK Maxx, on the sale rack. You know, because we're not in Europe. We can't attract those players right now. Curtis, don't sugarcoat it. Our reputation is absolutely done. No one big or flashy ego is coming on the ends again. Look at the players that we've signed since Arteta's been the manager. This isn't just for Arteta, but just look at it. We're either signing 30-plus-year-olds who are past their best. That's your Willians, your David Luiz, those kind of... I know David Luiz joined under Emery. They're players that are past their best. They're big names, but they're past their best. They're looking for a retirement plan. Or we're signing young, hungry players like Tomiyasu, Ramsdale, players that are easy to get because of the clubs they play for, and they look at Arsenal as a step up. So they're easy to control. They're going to be excited to come to Arsenal. They're going to give you everything. And the third player is your Thomas Partey, who is a big name, but not a world-class name. And I just think his decision to come was he wanted to play in the Prem, and the bag was huge. And that's the reason he came. He didn't come to Arsenal because he was desperate to play for Arsenal. He came here because we said, you're 60 grand a week. I'm going to turn it into 250 grand a week. If we offered him 80 grand, he wouldn't have signed for us. Oh, and that's just the reality. So those, for me, are the 3 players that we can get. They're past their best. They're young with a point to prove. They may look at Arsenal as a stepping stone, or a player that we just give him the bag and he wants the money. And that worries me. These are the things that we have to look at and address, you know, and we have to have discussions about Kroenke and the direction of the football club just to make sure that awareness is always there. Growing up, I saw Arsenal shirts everywhere. If it wasn't Arsenal, it was probably Man United. As I got a bit older, you'd see Liverpool, obviously, you know, Chelsea and stuff like that. You probably see Man City now. Honestly, I do not see Arsenal shirts anywhere near as much as I used to. And Token, you make a great point. Dropping out of that top 10 would indicate that Arsenal are losing a generation. I would say if you was born in the 2000s, if you've been born since the millennium, you will have not seen a great Arsenal team in your whole life. Anybody who's like 17, 18, 20, I think that kind of age group would look at Arsenal in a totally different way. That's why I think, you know, Vlahovic, who was 21, probably thought, Arsenal, are they that big? You know, because since he's been a teenager, Arsenal have not done anything significant. So I agree. I think Arsenal have probably lost a generation. I think a generation of Arsenal fans now, you'll see them guys and girls wearing Chelsea and Man City and Liverpool, because they're the clubs now. They're the clubs that everyone's going to talk about. Millennials follow Man City. Of course they do. Because they see success. They see great football. See one of the best managers in football there, you know? And that's worrying for Arsenal. It really is. That's bigger than football. If LA Rams win the Super Bowl, do you think it would make Kroenke focus more on Arsenal? Probably not. Probably not. It'd probably focus less on us, says Nima. Yardy Tov, big up to you, said Alexis was a mercenary. He played like one and pretty like a man of his generation. Shameless Bobby all day. Clement said, we are seeing more Man City, Liverpool and Chelsea shirts than Arsenal. I mean, like I said, Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester City were on that list, which is pretty incredible. I will try and find that list and bring it up tomorrow. I can't remember the other Prem teams who were on there. But yeah, Chelsea stole our fan base. The success, man. Success does a lot. They're not a bigger club than us. But it's moving in those directions. Elliot said Cruz is a big indicator on this talking point. 100%. Kids will always simplify situations. That's how they are, kids. They give you the honest truth. And they want to feel like they're supporting a team that is good. I can only sell him the history for so long. I can only show him YouTube videos of Henry running past 8 players. They're like, well, what's going on now? When I watch Arsenal now, you don't look that good, you know. And this is how a kid will see football. It's unfortunate, but we have to do something. The club have to change the direction. CJ said, you're right. I'm 25. I'm vexed that when I was 8, we went invincible. I had to go the whole of secondary school without a trophy. Look at that. Look at that, man. You know what I mean? You're probably thinking, imagine going through the Invincibles as an adult. How amazing that would be. Leo said, I can confirm I'm 23. I supported Arsenal since 2006, since I saw Henry playing in the World Cup. And I know I never saw the best of Arsenal. It's sad. It's sad, honestly. It really is. How are we going to turn that around? You know? Big C, African kids are now putting on Liverpool shirts. 20 years ago, it was Arsenal. And a lot of that happened with Chelsea as well. I'm just talking specifically about certain communities, you know. Arsenal have a very big multicultural fan base. And then all of a sudden, you would see a lot of guys supporting Chelsea because they were bringing in stars from different continents as well. And this is it. This is it. Dupe said, 2005, Curtis Bro, I have no affiliation with Arsenal. I just chose them. One of my worst decisions in my early life. It's sad, man. They were such an attractive proposition, Arsenal, you know. City have fans in Africa now. Mahrez had the red carpet rolled out in Cameroon. It's crazy. It is crazy. Drogba effect. Yeah, you know, Drogba, you get big players, you know, that grabs a whole country, sometimes a whole continent towards your club. You know, I've been to France before, and France, it was, you know, Arsenal, Henry, Wenger. We had such a big connection with that country. I don't know if we are now. I think we're like a name brand that is huge that people don't wear anymore. You know what I mean? Everyone used to wear Von Dutch hats back in the day, or Burberry or something like that. You know, like we're like a big brand that was massive 20 years ago, but no one don't really wear it anymore. Ed Hardy, you know, something like that. That's kind of our Arsenal. Oh, we need to reinvent ourselves and become fashionable again, man. We're moving mad. Ed Hardy settings, man. I'm telling you, man used to rock the Ed Hardy back in the day. You know, Iceberg and Avrex and all that. That's how we're moving. We're kind of out of date right now. But anyway, hopefully we'll get back there. Big up to all of you for tuning in today. Really appreciate your time. We've been on for an hour and 12 minutes. It's been a great stream as always. Happy Monday to everyone. For the members, we'll be back at 5. Make sure you join me for that. Come and have your say. And appreciate everyone who voted on the poll. If you're watching this after, let me know. Alexis or Robert Pires, who was the best winger? It's definitely sparked a debate. I'll be back on tomorrow. I'm going to get a couple of guests on this week. And we'll also obviously have the watch along on Thursday, Arsenal against Wolves. I'm nervous for that game, I can't lie. I know they lost at the weekend, Wolves, to Norwich in the FA Cup, but it's a tricky ground to go. Their manager's just got Manager of the Month as well. So, appreciate that. And just quickly, the Jack Wilshere one. I didn't really get into it too much. Jack Wilshere was saying he wants to come back to Arsenal, but Arteta doesn't want him at the moment. According to reports, he's in discussions about going to West Brom, so I don't think you'll see Jack playing for Arsenal. Big up to everyone for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. I'll see all the members at 5. If not, I will see you all tomorrow at 2 p.m. Bless.